Justin Bieber, One Direction, Beyonce, 5 Seconds of Summer, Shawn Mendes, Drake, Fetty Wap, and many others. All of these individuals are not only seen as people that are insanely talented, popular, wealthy, and let's go ahead and throw in there, very good looking. But these individuals, along with many other people, are just like you and me. We want to get to know them. We want to be their best friends. We might even dream about marrying them one day. But again, they're normal people just like me and you. So why do we fantasize over these people? Who knows? But everyone wants to be their best friends, but instead of doing it in a way you're completely just fangirling over them and being unprofessional about it, there are jobs in this world that do revolve around them to where you can actually be their best friend without freaking them out. Hi, I'm Mackenzie Rutledge, and I'm studying entertainment journalism and marketing under the mentorship of Abby Haney, the director of marketing at iHeartMedia in Dallas. Just a little bit about myself. I'm a varsity cheerleader. I was an officer last year and social officer this year. I'm involved in National Charity League, the Prestonwood Student Choir, where I'm a student leader, and I've gone on about 5. Did math in my head just now. That's why I'm not going into finance. But I'm going on my 5th mission trip to Los Angeles this summer. So for someone wanting to do everything and anything entertainment, that's extremely exciting. I'm an ambassador for the National Society of High School Scholars. I was involved in the Miss Texas organization, where I learned how much I like to talk, and I will not stop now. I'm involved in DECA. I was an ambassador for Drop Messages, which is a social media application, and I'm in student council and also an assistant photo editor for the yearbook. My quote this year was something I heard while I was in England, actually, on my mission trip this summer, and that is "Use me to change the world." This quote has kind of shaped where I wanted to go in life, because I wanted to be someone and be somewhere that I was needed and that I could make a change in the world, like my pastor has said here. My mission statement for ISM is, as I go through ISM this year, I plan to be dedicated and enthusiastic towards my area of study. I will be preparing myself for my future, because of the future to me starts now. I'm going to strive to stay true to myself throughout the year, and hopefully make a positive impact in some way in the entertainment industry. And so far through this year, I can say that I have stayed true to my mission statement. So the first part of any student's ISM journey is finding someone that could be a mentor, and that is through the interview process. For many students, it could be an extremely stressful and intimidating situation to go through, but luckily, since I was involved in the Miss Texas organization and I'm involved in DECA now, I have to go through interview processes quite frequently. My first interview was actually at iHeartMedia with Sammy Yaz, Lily Villarreal, and Andrea Ropek. Sammy is the promotions director for KISS FM, Lily is the assistant director of marketing, and Andrea works with sponsorships and promotions for The Edge. The importance of this first interview was actually that I was supposed to be meeting with my now mentor, Mrs. Haney, but she had to step out, and it spoke a lot of volume to me that she went ahead and took care of me and got people to still talk to me and figure out what I was wanting to do with ISM this year. And that's why I loved iHeartMedia from the get-go. A really important point they made was that their jobs may revolve around entertainment, but they're super involved in the community and through philanthropy. Philanthropies around the area, which was really important to me because I am wanting to make a positive change in a negative industry. So that was really cool to see that a national company does stand on community service. My second interview was with Paul Salfin, who is a Dallas-based entertainment reporter. It's kind of hard actually to find these guys in Dallas, Texas, because while we think that we have so much going on here and that we think we have all this entertainment, it's actually very extremely difficult to find someone that specializes in specifically entertainment journalism. So it was really cool to be able to sit down with him. He taught me the importance of location. He said that while you could be the best reporter in Nebraska, you still won't be doing half as well as someone that's the 5th best in New York, just because New York has so much to offer in the entertainment industry. And he said that it is important to stand out and get an early start now because it is such a competitive industry. So to do whatever I could now and get a start, that would be for my benefit in the future. My third interview was with Abby Haney, who is the Director of Marketing at iHeartMedia. I loved iHeartMedia so much that I decided to go back a second time when she reached out to me to see if I had any more questions, which I'm glad I did because she ended up being my mentor. But she got a start in the radio industry with a summer job on the promotions staff. She didn't really think she was going to go in that direction, so it's really cool to hear how she has gone from someone that was just someone that set up tents at summer concert parking lots to the Director of Marketing for a national company. At this interview, I got a better understanding of iHeartMedia as a company, and one thing that stood out again and spoke volume to her and her character was that while I was the one interviewing and asking questions, she had just as many questions for me and what I was going to do in the future and what I was interested in, and that really stood out against another interview I had already had just because she wanted to get to know me. The fourth interview was with Shannon Sandiford. She worked for EMJ Productions. I actually met Shannon because she was my Miss through the Miss Texas organization. So while we were really close through that, I never actually asked her about her job and marketing and stuff. So it was really cool to be able to sit down with her in a professional setting and talk to her and get her advice on the whole situation that I was having with entertainment marketing and entertainment journalism and how I could intertwine the two. She graduated from OU with a degree in marketing and English writing, which is a little strange, but it's kind of cool because it goes in with journalism, so that's why specifically I wanted to talk to her because she has the same interests I do. I learned the specifics of clientele marketing, and the cool thing about Shannon was that she, fresh out of college, had to create the company's voice, so she basically built their marketing department from the ground up, so that also shows like how dedicated to marketing she is and how knowledgeable she is on this job. My fifth interview was with the anchor for the 4 and 6 o'clock news, Shelly Slater. A little bit of a different route that I took going on this interview, but I specifically got to talk to someone that is on camera every day and has to write their scripts and goes out and reports. So I learned the rigor of that process and that it's not always glamorous. Miss Slater was drilling me on going to Mizzou because it is a school that is already in the market loop. So their broadcast journalism department has their students working for the local news station. So those kids are already developing a resume tape, which is a set of your best clips and probably your best stories and anchor opportunities for when you go out and get jobs. So Mizzou basically prepares their students to go even further than Market 161, which is what that local town's market is for when they graduate school. With Miss Slater, she was tough on how tough this industry is, and obviously it's extremely competitive, and she said that college plays a huge role in how fast you can make it to the top. Next is my mentorship. I've already said that I have chosen to go under the mentorship of the Director of Marketing at iHeartMedia in Dallas, Mrs. Abby Haney. I got a really early start in my ISM journey, which is really nice because I get to be a part of so many events with iHeartMedia. I explained to her when I first went in that I wanted it to be an extremely hands-on mentorship, so I didn't want to go in and be extra baggage like, oh, Mackenzie's coming in again today, but more like Mackenzie's coming in, she can help. And that's definitely what it's been. The first mentor visit, I toured all departments of iHeartMedia, so I got to go in the sales department, the marketing department, broadcast journalism department, just about anywhere. The second one, I got to go to the Jingle Bell 2015 venue walkthrough at American Airlines Center, which there's a lot more that goes into choosing a venue than I thought there could be, such as the flooring for interviewing rooms, how accessible meet and greet is going to be, but how we can still keep a barrier between the artists and the fans so that we don't have any crazy people trying to attack them. Just about anything really is taken into consideration when you walk through to see if this is the best venue you can have your event at. One of my favorite mentor visits thus far has been Jingle Ball, obviously, and also Kids, because This is an event that focuses on kids with terminal illness and disabilities. Basically, around the area, Kid Craddock Morning Show receives donations for kids to be able to go to a trip to Disney free of charge. Them and their families, airfare is free. They have a send-off, so I was a part of the send-off, and it was really cool to just see the positive impact that entertainment is making in society so far. Also, I was able to talk to Billy the Kid and EJ, who are two on-air personalities, one of my mentor visits, and this went specifically into my original work, so we'll touch on that a little bit later. I have gotten to update the website with events coming up in 2016, so it's really exciting. So if you see any concerts on iHeartMedia's website, that was all me. Jingle Ball 2015, I said earlier, was probably one of my favorite things to work because I was getting to meet my favorite stars, but also have to do it in a professional setting. So while I was wanting to cry over sitting back to back to Shawn Mendes at dinner and meeting Harry Styles in the hallway, I couldn't do that, and I couldn't ask for a picture. So a little upset about it, but at the same time, I'm even happier because they treated me as a professional and more of a friend instead of a fan that's obsessed with them. Here are some pictures from Jingle Ball 2015. That's me in the meet and greet room. I put this picture on here to show kind of like spot the difference game, I guess. So here's this picture, and then here's this one. If you couldn't notice already, my badge is not there anymore because on social media, if I wanted to do anything with this, I couldn't have my badge in pictures because people would replicate it. So there's the original, then I had to Photoshop it out. So yeah, they're extremely crazy about security on badges so people don't sneak in. That's me and my mentor after the event was over. So the pictures I did get were with people I was working with and of this artist when I actually got to go watch the concert. That is Harry Styles' front row, every girl's dream, or it should be. That's Louis. This is all One Direction, because, yep, and that's Liam singing to me, so I can die happy now. That's a video, but. Okay, so research is a huge part of the independent study and mentorship program. Obviously, you have to kind of know what you're getting yourself into and what you're going to do to make yourself successful. But one thing that I always tell kids is that if this is something you really want to do and you love to do, then it's not hard to do the work. It's actually fun to write 2 or 3 page essays and write all these blogs because you're talking about you and your experiences and something you're interested in. Throughout the year, we have completed research assessments. I have completed them specifically over broadcast journalism etiquette, the effects that social media has had on marketing and broadcast journalism, the overview of both jobs and digital marketing trends. One thing that really stuck out in every single research assessment I've done is that the effect of social media on this job industry. Specifically, a case specifically showed that 56% of people believe social media plays a huge role in marketing, and entertainment specifically, because this is so important, because if people believe that it plays a huge role, if you don't have yourself marketing social media wise, then people are going to probably believe you don't love your company enough to give it the best marketing available. And it's free, so you can do as much of it you want it for free, which is very cost effective for many companies. iHeartMedia is a big benefactor. I'm trying to be smart up here. It's a huge sponsor for social media. Thank you. And something interesting I found was that 8 hours a day we spend on social media, so it probably seems unbelievable and unrealistic to us hearing 8 hours a day, but if you think about it, the time we spend just split up throughout the day, that's a lot of time that ends up adding together, and it's kind of crazy to think about it. Another important thing that I saw through research was skills without script. That was through my broadcast journalism etiquette research assessment. It talked about all of these characteristics that you need to have in order to be a successful broadcast journalist, Two that I saw that I really liked were an ethical compass and coachability. You're going to get critiqued in this industry, obviously. It's a very highly sought after job industry. So being able to take those and turn them into something that you can learn from is very important. And being able to have an ethical compass and knowing the difference between should I say this or should I not say this, it's very important, because once you say it, thousands of people have seen it and you can't really take back what you said. Another thing I did was I conducted interviews with Billy the Kid and EJ, who are on-air talent at iHeartMedia, as I previously said. I got to talk to them about the interviewing portion, because that is actually something I did for my original work, which again we'll talk on in a few minutes. I also got to sit in on the Intro to Broadcast Web News Writing and Media Economics class at UNT. What was cool about these two classes is that I noticed the difference between taking these two and my just for fun forensic economics class, which I thought would be so much fun because I love shows like CSI and Castle, but I ended up taking 3 pages of notes, so it was not as much fun as I thought. And in these classes, I didn't take any notes. So kind of goes to show how hands-on this job will be. For my original work, I was really excited about doing this. I've kind of talked about an artist interview here and there throughout my presentation, but my goal in doing this artist interview was showing a link between both marketing and broadcast journalism. When I sat down with Billy the Kid specifically, he said that most of the time when artists do come to be interviewed, it's because they're wanting to promote something. So as the interviewer, it's your job to help promote their album or their single or their concert coming up. So I really wanted to do that in my original work. How I accomplished my original work. Again, I interviewed 2 on-air talents who interview quite frequently, so I got a very in-depth understanding of how I should go about interviewing. I read articles to further my research, so I looked up what questions I could ask, what questions I should steer clear of. But for me, I really wanted to be authentic in the questions I was asking, so I made sure to go look at other interviews that had been done by Billy the Kid and how he had been interviewed, because I did a practice run with him before I actually did my artist interview with someone that was nominated for 2 Grammys this year, Andrew Day. So by doing that, I went and saw what I needed to fix and what I needed to change before I did my interview, because it would be my first one really doing it in the industry, which is a pretty big deal for someone that's nominated for 2 Grammys. Watching clips, I saw what should and shouldn't be done. So I went and looked at Jingle Ball interviews that Billy had done, and he does a really phenomenal job of interviewing. There's some times that you could tell the dynamic of the interview was really different because of whether he was sitting too close to the artist, too far, or just right, or whether it looked like the artist wanted to be there, if they were comfortable. It was kind of just reading body language to see what would be best in the interview situation. So I watched interviews like these, like this is Billy the Kid with 5 Seconds of Summer backstage, kind of seeing how he interviewed before I interviewed him.
You don't get enough accolades for your interview. Yeah, I didn't have that word in my vocabulary, but I was looking for that word. I can't believe I pulled it off. So really quick, I want to get really serious. If you guys were interviewing yourself, what would you ask? A valid question.
I'd ask why do you guys sound so congested?
What would the answer be?
I'd say because obviously.
Yeah.
And that is Class A entertainment. And then everyone turns to the next radio station.
How do you do? I mean, you just gotta, you do a show when you're sick. Well, like you just gotta keep going, right? Do it.
Yes.
Is there any secrets you guys can see that?
It's
Better yet.
just for the chair, you know. No. Do you guys have any questions you'd like to ask yourselves?
Yeah. What would you like to ask yourself?
I'd like to ask Mike something.
Yeah, so y'all can pretty much get the gist of it. I just watched interviews like these over and over again to figure out what questions they had been asked, what questions they hadn't been asked, and figure out how to develop my questions from there. You also have to go into the interview knowing who the artist is before you actually talk to them, so that your interview comes across very professional and like you know what you're doing. Obviously, you would hope you would know what you're doing because you put yourself in the situation to interview them. So This is my original work. Oh. I don't know. It was
Pause the camera. Pause the camera for a second.
it was showing up earlier.
The silver button.